Release. What is one money practice, attitude, or mindset that you want or need to let go of?
I think if I have an unhealthy money practice, it is in not being as careful about my spending as I could be. I've been so blessed in my life to not have to be so careful because I always seem to have enough. Now, I don't mean that I'm extravagant, but when I see something that I want, if the want seems to nag at me long enough, I go ahead and get it. At this point in my life, when Jean and I are moving into a different phase of our money life, I need to start being more careful with spending and budget more closely. I was at a local car garage the other day getting my van fixed, and I was at the counter paying my bill. The amount was under $1,000, but not by much. But I had the money to pay it, so I wasn't upset about the bill. There was another lady at the counter talking to another guy and asking questions about the ways to cut corners in their work to save her money on the cost of fixing her brakes. My heart went out to her, and I thought about how cavalier I am at times about my spending. Not wasteful, perhaps, but not always realizing how truly blessed I am. I want to be more aware. I want to be more careful and be more sensitive at times to God, to what God wants me to share from my abundance.
I worry a great deal about how I can financially afford to make the necessary upgrades to my home before I get much older. I want to stay in my home as long as I can, and hopefully the rest of my life. I cannot seem to be satisfied with what I already have, though my home is very livable now.
Quite a few years ago, I was traveling alone in the car when I heard an interview on the radio that made an impression on me. The person relayed a story of asking an elderly relative toward the end of their life if there was something she regretted. She replied, "Yes, the things I regret are my economies." This made me think of times when I had held back, not been as generous with my money and time as my circumstances would allow.
Hi, let me introduce myself. I'm the bad guy. I pay the bills. I also have 2 kids and I'm married, so any splurges get multiplied. 1 Slurpee becomes 4 drinks and 5 snacks. It's bad enough with my own temptations, but there are 3 more voices coming up with suggestions. When I say yes, I regret it. When I say no, I'm the bad guy. In money, I went from having no plan to following one-size-fits-all plans. Don't shop with credit cards because the wiggle room makes you overspend. Don't shop with checking cards because if they get scammed, the bank has to freeze the account, even if it ties up everything you have and the rent is due. FYI, that did happen, and the trailer park was pretty lenient. It turns out a plan can be correct, but what matters is how well it fits the situation. In some houses, one spouse being in charge of the money is a virtue. In others, it's how someone gets taken advantage of. It's domestic violence so that the victim doesn't have basic money to go anywhere else. In my case, it's how I let go of stress. I still manage the bills and the long-term goals, but I asked my spouse to please take over the shopping account. And I said, "Honey, if you want us to go to a restaurant or even the circus, you decide now. But at the end of the month, if we are living off of rice and Pop-Tarts, the only person unhappy is you, because that is my idea of a good time." I like the verse, "Test all things and hold fast to what is good." I tried different methods, I learned, and now I'm tailoring them. And that's how I'm no longer the bad guy.